What is going on, guys? Sorry for the late start time. It's only a 4-game slate, so really not too much to talk about, but still an edge. So again, guys, thanks for tuning in. We're going to get right into it. Obviously, don't want to waste any time. It looks like TJ is unsettled there. It looks like he's finally settling down with his neck pillow. Hopefully, that'll bring us good luck tonight. TJ, how are you doing with your neck pillow?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm doing okay. I'm very tired. I'm getting sick. I have coronavirus, I think, so.
Don't say that.
The end is near. The end is near.
All right, sorry for the overdramatic start to our stream, guys. So let's go ahead and just dive right into it. Let's go straight to the chalk, TJ. Obviously, not going to waste any time. It's a 4-game slate, and I want to cover every basis on this slate as much as we can anyway. So starting out with Houston. Houston's going to be chalk because of their underpriced players. They're underpriced superstars, to be specific. Obviously, with Capella off the court, I constantly take him off. Averages 1.73 fantasy points per minute. James Harden does, and that is throughout the entire season. So obviously underpriced in general. 6.1 point per dollar value on our sheet. I adjusted that based on Vegas's spread, so I think yours is a little bit higher, but regardless, still a fantastic play. I was hoping that he wasn't going to be chalky. I saw this morning that he was around 34% for tournaments, and I got very excited, but now he's showing at half the field playing him in tournaments, so I'm not as excited on him as I was before, but still a fantastic play. Going against the Clippers should be a very, very competitive game, so I think the last time they played, I think James Harden didn't do so well. I think it was Westbrook that actually did well. But Westbrook is going to be as just of a good play. Obviously, going against Beverly, they have a little mini rivalry going on. So if you want to play into the narrative, Russell Westbrook and James Harden, obviously, if you want to take a stab at either one of those, if you want to play in both, definitely a solid option. The game should be around, I think it's 120 or 135. I think that's what it was at last time I checked. 136 or 236. Sorry. Yeah, that's what I meant. So also another play to talk about is Covington, just because he's the next highest priced guy. Obviously will carry a little bit of usage. Eric Gordon is showing underpriced as well, 5.7 point per dollar value. If he does get 25 minutes or higher, I do like him. And I think that covers pretty much everybody. I know that what's his face is active. Why can't Damari Carroll's active? So that could eat into some minutes, like as far as somebody like House goes, and maybe even PJ Tucker. But I'm not too concerned about Eric Gordon. You know, with that guard play, there's not too many people. I mean, to contest him, it's going to be Austin Rivers and McLemore. So I do like Eric Gordon still. TJ, what's your thoughts on Houston?
Yeah, I mean, my thoughts on the slate overall, I'm not the biggest fan of this small 4-game slate. I'm personally going to be going pretty light in terms of money on DraftKings. We're still pending a lot of news as well. Still waiting on Devontae Graham. Still waiting on Van Vliet and Ibaka, which is pretty big. Still waiting on Draymond Green. So we're still pending on some pretty significant injury news, especially in that late game between Toronto and Golden State, which could be pretty significant in terms of the slate. I don't like that there's a 7 o'clock game, an 8 o'clock game, and then a 10, 10:30. So I'm not in love with it, Matt. I don't know if you're big into the slate tonight, but I mean it's I don't know. It's not a real appeasing one, but if I'm going anywhere, it's obviously going to be this Clippers-Houston game. It's a 236 over-under. It looks like it's going to be pretty competitive. Houston at home playing small ball, so this is definitely the game that I want to look to target, especially in cash. You alluded to Harden. You alluded to Westbrook. I like both of those guys at 10-7 and at 10K. I really like PJ Tucker at 3,700 tonight against those Clipper bigs. Eric Gordon. I mean, I think all these guys are kind of viable in terms of cash just because this is a game that everybody's going to target. All of them should carry a decent amount of ownership. So I'm on board with most of these Rockets, including Harden, Westbrook, Covington, Gordon, and Tucker. And even House. They all rate out pretty decent. It's a good matchup against Clippers. Should be competitive, like I said. So definitely a game that I want to target for cash.
Yeah, I get excited just in general whenever Houston's on the slate and they show underpriced players. Like I love when Harden's under 11K. I just think that it just feels like whenever he's in the primetime matchup and he's under 11K, it's just in a total smash spot. So the only thing I'm not thrilled about is 49%. As I said before, I probably still will be overweight on him. So I'm all aboard the Houston train as far as GPP goes, and like you said, with cash, definitely a safe option. Now, flipping over to the other side of the ball, because we know it's going to be competitive, it's kind of hard to sit back and kind of look at this team in general, just because of the minutes. We know that Paul George has been not getting as many minutes as we want him to at his caliber of a player. They might be saving him for playoffs, which they should. 7.4K, 30 minutes. He's obviously been bumping around in that 28 to 30 minute range for a while now. But if there's any game where he's going to be playing above 30 minutes, it should be this one. 7.4 definitely is intriguing. However, he's showing pretty high in ownership. I'm really interested and intrigued in Kawhi Leonard tonight. 9.3 I think is just underpriced in general. If I'm going to be taking anybody from this game, it's going to be Kawhi. So I'm going to be taking superstars from both sides of the ball, and that makes the most sense in a competitive game like this, a primetime game. And then Pat Bev obviously has to be on the floor. We talked about this before the stream. Pat Bev has to be on the floor, right? Going against Russ. So they're going to be going back and forth. He should be more motivated than normal. Should get over 22 minutes. They haven't pegged here at 22 minutes. 3.6 should be a fairly decent value for him. But other than that, I mean, it's kind of hard to really, I guess, give advice and really take a stance on any one of these other players because it could really go anywhere else. But those are the three that I'm interested in the most. What are your thoughts on the Clippers?
So ever since the addition of Marcus Morris and Reggie Jackson, the picture has been a little bit unclear. The minutes have been evenly distributed between a couple guys. They've been pretty comfortable going with a 10-man rotation with Shamet, JaMychal Green, Trez, Lou, Reggie Jackson, Kawhi, Marcus Morris, Zub, Paul George, and Beverly. So in this type of game where I think it should be pretty competitive, like I like Paul George and I like Kawhi, obviously. I think they're both underpriced. I think they should see, around 32 minutes each, I would hope. Kawhi probably playing a little more and Paul George potentially playing a little bit less. But yeah, so those are two guys that I definitely like. I think they're both cash viable. A guy like Montrezl Harrell tonight, whose minutes have been on the low a little bit ever since Marcus Morris came into the picture, is definitely a guy that I like. You know how aggressive he is down low. Houston really doesn't have anybody to cover him. I mean, PJ Tucker, God bless him. We know what he can do against centers defensively. And he's been great for them so far at the 5. But I definitely like them to I definitely like the Clippers to kind of expose that center position for Houston tonight. So I expect a pretty big night for Montrez off the bench for the Clippers. This could be a game where he plays 28 to 30 minutes if he can get hot and start to dominate down low. So I definitely like Trez as a GPP play. He's currently showing at 1% ownership. I'm more than happy to be extremely overweight on him. You mentioned Patrick Beverly. Yeah, the minutes between him and Reggie Jackson have been they've been relatively just split down the middle. So it is tough to kind of say who do you like more, Bev or Reggie. I'll take Bev, especially if he's starting. And like you said, going up against Harden and Westbrook, you know how he gets up for these types of games. He's an unbelievable defender. So I could see him playing more than 22 minutes tonight. That's what he's projected at right now. I could see him playing like 26-ish. So I definitely like Bev. I think he's going to be a cash play too. So yeah, that's kind of like Montrez and Lou. If they're both going to be 1% owned, like sign me up. In the highest over/under game, like Montrez can take advantage of the small ball that Houston will play. Like maybe they put Covington on him when he comes in. I'm not sure, instead of PJ Tucker. But yeah, like him, and then Lou Williams coming in the highest pace game. We love to play shooters at 5'9". I think he's very undervalued in terms of price. Again, the minutes haven't been there since the All-Star break and since the trade deadline for him and Montrez. But in a competitive game, like I would hope Doc trusts Lou and Trez down the stretch. So yeah, I mean, this is definitely the game that I want to target. So
yeah, and the ownership is showing so low on these guys just because you really don't know. And what's up?
Yeah, I feel like it's definitely gonna update. I feel like if Montrez and Lou are at 1%, then that's
well, yeah, and that and then you just really don't know like what the rotation's really gonna look like, and it's just because of the minute uncertainty and like you don't really know the production. But like you said, like if this is gonna be a game where those kind of players are gonna shine, it's gonna be in this game. So they have a little rivalry going, Houston and the Clippers do. It'll be fun to see them playing in the playoffs. Hopefully that gets to that point. All right. Moving on past those two games, let's go to Philly because Philly is going to be the next chalk here. So, we stacked Philly the last time these guys were without Richardson, Simmons, and Embiid. And it's going to be the same kind of situation, but last time we didn't really know what was going on with the minutes. We kind of went off of those projections, and they were wrong. They were wrong because Mike Scott got a huge run. And people like Korkmaz didn't get as many minutes as we thought. Glenn Robinson was more involved. Alec Burks was non-existent, it felt like, because he wasn't productive when he was on the floor, and he wasn't even on the floor for that long. So now that we have a better picture of Philly, it's going to be the same kind of thing, except I'm more confident now, because if Mike Scott's strong to start, we're going to expect 29 minutes out of him again. Did very well. He played 36 minutes. Is showing the best value here on the slate, at least according to our sheet. Going to be in a slight pace down spot. What's up?
Dion Waiters signed with the Lakers.
Okay. I thought you were about to throw some curveballs on the slate. Okay. And then Al Horford, also not a bad play. I know he didn't really do that well last time, but again, it just shows really well on our sheet. So I'm going to be taking the risk probably on him. Al Horford averaging 1.28 fantasy points per minute. Shake Milton, also a decent play with high minutes. And same thing can be said with Tobias. I'm going to sound like a broken record as long as these guys are out. Those are going to top my favorite plays. But TJ, what are your favorite plays from this team?
For me, it would definitely just be Mike Scott in terms of cash. Him and Horford, I think, would be my two guys. You alluded to last game with Philly. They started Mike Scott, Thibault, Milton, Tobias, and Al Horford. Al played 33 minutes along with Tobias, so I think the minutes are going to be secure for both of those guys. I like Al's price tag at $7K. You mentioned he averages 1.28 fantasy points per minute with Simmons, Embiid, and Richardson off the court, 2.4% usage bump. So at $7K, I think he can pay off his price tag tonight against those Sacramento bigs of Giles and Alex Len. So I definitely like Al. I think the minutes for Mike Scott also, you said he played 36 last game. I don't expect him to play those type of minutes again tonight. But, if he does at 3.9, obviously he's going to be a very chalky play. So I think that I think he's pretty 3.8. Sorry, I think he's pretty safe in terms of cash, and I think he'll be probably the highest owned guy on the slate. So. Yeah. It's nice. I think tonight's going to be more of a stars and scrubs type night, so you're going to need some of those guys sub 4K. So like Mike Scott, Pat Beverly are guys that I want to try and attack. So I think that's a safe play in Mike Scott. Alec Burks was the mystery last game. He didn't even play in the first quarter. He only played 8 minutes in the second quarter, and then in the third and in the second half, he actually played 15 minutes. So weird rotation coming from Philly. So I still think the pitcher's kind of unclear in terms of what they're going to go, but I think you can just kind of solidify that Horford, Harris, Mike Scott, and Shake will get their minutes. Mm-hmm. With the other guys just kind of being who's hot and who's doing what between like Glenn Robinson, Korkmaz, and Burks. So I think your safe plays are Tobias. I think they're Mike Scott. And I think they're Al Horford. I like Al Horford and I like Mike Scott in terms of cash. I also don't hate Tobias at 7.9, but I'd rather go with Al Horford and save the $900. All those other guys are just complete GPP plays. I don't have any interest in them in terms of cash, so.
Yeah, and the guys that you alluded to with the highest minutes and obviously the most solidified minutes are also the ones that happen to be the highest owned. So you're exactly right when you say that GPP plays for the other guys. I mean, they obviously ride the hot hand with Korkmaz, even when they have their true starters in with Embiid and Simmons. Right. So, I mean, I feel like this is just a team that rides the hot hand at this point. So, Alec Burks, I mean, if he gets hot, could easily see 30-plus minutes, to be honest. So, again, like, all these guys are not bad plays. There's plenty of usage to go around. It's just where do you go from there? Who are you going to really take a stand on? And those top 4 guys are going to be the ones that we're going to be taking a stand on. At least I am. I usually take the safer route.
I mean, if Glenn Robinson's going to play 30-plus minutes again, I wouldn't mind having him as a GPP play at 4K. He's only projected at 24. I think he was projected at like 22 last game and ended up playing 30. So
right. All right. Do you want to talk about Sacramento at all? I feel like there's not too much going on here.
I feel like this is a good team to target for GPPs solely because of ownership. I don't expect any of these guys to be high owned, like Bielisa, like Buddy Hield, Bogdy. Even like I was pretty high on Alex Len last game. He played pretty well. He had value, but those 3 guys that I just mentioned, Bielisa, Hield, and Bogdanovich, are all showing so low ownership.
Yeah.
So, in a game that no one's going to pay any interest in or pay any attention to because everybody's eyes are glued to the Clippers in Houston and what's going on with the Toronto injuries, this could be a pretty decent team to not stack, but like pick guys specifically in terms of GPPs, like those 3 guys I mentioned.
And you can't.
Say it again.
Sorry, go ahead.
It's tough to be different on 4-game slates. So, I don't want to go to Charlotte unless like Devonta Graham's out, and then that opens up a little more value. But if I can get Sacramento and some of those guys at sub 5% ownership on a 4-game slate, like I'll take my chances with that.
Yeah, for sure. And you can't even turn away from people like Harrison Barnes here playing 35 minutes. Like any one of these guys could easily do really well against Philly.
Yeah,
again.
Sure, yeah.
Philly's without a lot of their good defensive players like Embiid. So all these stats that Roto are showing are stale. So again, like their point per dollar values on Roto grinders should probably be a little bit higher. So take that with a grain of salt. I'm gonna probably be a little bit overexposed to a couple of these Sacramento guys for sure. All right. I kind of want to talk about Golden State because we're gonna get this question. I already know it. The Steph Curry question. Do we even look at him tonight? I know it's going to be fun. I can't wait to see him back. I can't wait to see him carry this horrible team. But is he going to do it in 25 minutes, do you think?
I mean, they said 24 to 28 minutes for him. So, like, I wouldn't be surprised if right out of the gate he plays 28 minutes.
Yeah, he looked phenomenal in warm-ups, at least what he's been doing.
Steph, it wasn't a lower body injury that he was dealing with, so it's not going to be his endurance or anything like that. Like, yeah, he won't be in game shape, but I expect him to be in somewhat of a decent shape. I know he played in a G League game the other night, so yeah, at 8K, I mean, I'm definitely going to focus on his ownership because if he is only like 5% owned, like, yeah, I'll go overweight on him because why not? Because if he comes out just absolutely flame-throwing threes and hits 8 of them or something like that, like, it could make for a pretty big night for him. I don't expect him to do anything too crazy just because he is on the minute restriction. But at 8K with this awful team, like, I wouldn't expect, I wouldn't be surprised if he came out and just started just chucking up threes and trying to find his rhythm early and see if he can get hot and things like that. So I'll definitely have to keep an eye on his percentage ownership over these next 30-ish minutes and kind of go from there. And I kind of like him a little more if Draymond's out too. So
I'm in the same boat with you. I kind of have to observe his ownership because at this point it's kind of like when Zion came back, his ownership in GPPs was like 20% and his first game back and nobody really knew what he was going to do in 20 minutes. So like I thought that was a little crazy. I feel like it's going to be the same kind of picture. I hope that it's not because I want to play Steph. And as you guys know, he has the highest ceiling of any NBA player pretty much just because of his shooting ability and the fact that he just takes up all the usage on Golden State. I forget about everybody else on this team. I don't think I'm going to roster a single Golden State Warrior, honestly. Like, unless it's somebody like Chris that probably won't be affected down low. But I don't know. I might not even start any of these guys. But Steph Curry, yeah, if his ownership is like anything over 10%, I'm probably going to avoid him just because it's going to be hard to do in 25 minutes. And of course, Steve Kerr will probably do something crazy like start him in the entire game because that's just what happens, of course, when I recommend hard stances like this. But yeah, I mean, same boat. I'm not going to be going crazy with Steph Curry unless he's under about 5% ownership, but he probably won't be. So that Steph Curry question has been answered, guys.
I think it's pretty big for these other guys too, whether or not Draymond Green plays. Because if Draymond's out, then that gives me a little more interest for somebody like Pascal, who obviously shines when Draymond is off the court. And even at 5'8", I still think he'd be viable if Draymond's out. I think he'd be thrusted into 33, 35 minutes. So yeah, definitely have to keep an eye on that, like late swap type situations, like we talked about before. Tonight could be a pretty good one if we don't get the Draymond Green news. He gets ruled out. You could get Eric Pascal at 2% ownership and some GPPs on a 4-game slate. Could be a pretty big difference. So
yeah, it's just like all these prices too. We have to consider that they're inflated from when Steph was out. So when they go back down, they'll be definitely an interesting team
for sure. But I still don't even mind the 5'8" for Pascal, only if Draymond's out, obviously.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Toronto, we don't even want to talk about them yet. We're awaiting injury news. That's going to be, hopefully we get it soon, but it probably won't happen. So let's go.
Is Gasol playing? Is he back? Is he knocking? What about Van Vliet? So
yeah, Van Vliet ends up being a good play. Like if there's a couple injuries, that 6.5 is intriguing. But let's go all the way over here to Denver, Charlotte, as much as we can talk about them anyway, because we know there's a couple injury news or a couple pending injury news here with Vonleh is still questionable. That didn't really affect anything. So I guess we can talk about Denver. Jokic, obviously, in an absolute elite smash spot tonight, has all the upside in the entire world. So at 9.5, I think this is going to be a very cash viable play. Another good pay up option. It's going to come down to whether you're going to pay up for people like Harden and Westbrook or Jokic, and do you have enough value? And then everybody else, a decent plays just because it's Charlotte. Millsap is showing underpriced. 24 minutes if he does start. We know that he performs very well in the starting lineup. Jamal Murray is intriguing here at 6.8, but again, I feel like he's just so hit or miss at this point. I'm probably going to go other directions. Might be more GPP viable for me, but I'm not really interested in anybody else. Maybe Gary Harris. What's your take on Denver?
I don't hate the Jokic play or like Millsap because Charlotte's a team we like to attack bigs against. So I think Millsap at 4.6 is cash viable, but this is a battle between the last and second to last pace teams in the NBA. Yeah. The over-under obviously tells that at 207. Charlotte is 98? Their team total is 98. The Nuggets are 100. Yeah, so this is a really brutal game. I don't really have a lot of interest in this game as a whole. I definitely don't hate Jokic's matchup, especially, like I said, against the Charlotte Bigs. I don't hate Millsap. More matchup dependent prior to I like the matchup more than I actually like the game script because I do definitely think this is going to be low scoring. So yeah, besides those two guys, I don't really like maybe Mason Plumlee off the bench. I mean, he played really well against Golden State even in his 14 minutes. So maybe a stab at him in GPPs, but he probably won't play anything unless they blow him out. He can play 20 minutes, but I don't think he'll get there if it's kind of competitive. But yeah, no, I just don't see it in this game. I just don't. It's just not intriguing.
Real quick, guys, for everybody joining the stream, I know you guys are coming out from other streams because they usually let out around 6 o'clock. So welcome to our stream, first of all. Thank you so much. If you guys are interested in what you see, please hit that subscribe button. Again, we just hit 1,000 subscribers, so a big benchmark for us. One of the fastest growing platforms in DFS just in general. I've actually compared them myself, and we literally are one of the fastest growing. So definitely, guys, jump on board. We do this every single night. It's only a 4-game slate, so we will give a total breakdown of the slate in just a few minutes here as we're approaching 6:10 here. So again, guys, appreciate all the support. So yeah, with Denver and Charlotte, so I will say this, because it's still the NBA and anything can happen. I am definitely interested in these price tags for Charlotte because they're so dang low. I mean, especially if Devontae Graham is out. This could make for a very intriguing team to target in GPPs. And the only reason is if this is higher scoring than 98 points, which is what they had the price tags adjusted to originally, or it was 99 or 100, whatever they started at, I do like this team for GPPs. Now they're showing a little bit higher in ownership than I'd like, but again, just because we all know NBA is very unpredictable, and every time we predict a low-scoring game, it ends up high-scoring, and vice versa. So again, this could happen. I mean, they could go over, like you said. It's probably not likely, but if it does, it could end up paying off for you. Like people like Cody Zeller, 4.3. Devontae Graham is the lowest I've seen him in a very, very long time if he does play, at 5.8K. I mean, all of these guys. Cody Martin at 4.5. Terry Rozier, 6.2. Now, he's a little overpriced for me. But, like, again, these guys are playing without Monk. So you have to keep that in consideration. PJ Washington, 5.5. There's not a single person on this roster over 6.2. Okay, so keep that in mind. Like, if these guys do happen to score 110 points, which is still possible, they could do it. This could end up paying off for you. So I'm just saying that the price tags are very easy to get to, just in general from a DFS perspective. Again, just a decent team to target for GPPs. I'll be overexposed to a couple of these guys just for that reason. Like I'm going to be overexposed probably to Graham and probably not Rozier. I won't say his name. And like Cody Zeller for sure, just because those price tags are going to be so easy to get to, and Devontae Graham carries one of the highest usages on the team if he does play. If he doesn't play, this becomes an even more intriguing team to target. So I will say that. But yeah, for Charlotte, do any one of these guys kind of stick out to you regardless or no?
No, Charlotte won't put up 80 points tonight. That is my bold prediction. I think
they're going to put up 80 points.
My bold prediction tonight is that Charlotte does not put up 80 points.
Well, do you know who didn't put up 80 points? Was Brooklyn last night, which was absolutely insane.
Yeah, I know. Charlotte's not going to put up 80 points tonight against Denver's defense. I don't care if they're at home. I'd have more interest if Devontae Graham's out. If he plays, I guess that would be the guy that I would go to. But if he's out, I wouldn't mind taking stabs at Jalen McDaniels at 3.6 or Cody Martin at 4.5. I think they'd be more intriguing. But yeah, I literally have. I don't understand their ownership percentages. I think I don't know. I don't get it.
Yeah, I broke down the sheet over here. As far as point per dollar value wise, them and Sacramento actually popped them and Philly. Sacramento and Philly actually popped the most just because of their price tags according to Vegas's odds. But again, take that lightly because the usage is all kind of messed up and all that. So again,
I haven't ran the numbers yet because it's still pending Devontae Graham, obviously. Yeah. So, but yeah, I just first glance, looking at it, Charlotte's not gonna put up 80 points.
All right, well, I think that's a lie, but they will put up 80 points.
Yeah, can we get the trash cutscene? We should have had it up when you were talking about.
When we were talking about Charlotte.
Charlotte, the whole time.
Yeah, don't worry, I'll have it up for you guys that are new. There it is. So now that we're done talking about Charlotte,
trash.
Whenever we talk about Charlotte, Cleveland, or Boston, that's going to be the...
Cleveland has been unbelievable the last 2 games, and that's what's won everybody money. So, I mean...
No,
I know.
Yeah, I know. I really should be using it for the Spurs. But you know what? We won't talk about it.
You can use it for the Celtics, too. There it is.
All right, so now that we've covered the entire slate, all 8 teams pretty much.
Hopefully we get this Devontae Graham. Because, if he's out, then yeah, when I run the numbers, I'll probably have more interest. But I still don't think they get 80 points. That's my bold prediction, is that Charlotte doesn't get it. Watch, they're going to have 66 at halftime. I'm just going to be I'm
telling you, and then it will pay off for you guys. So
they're playing Denver. It's the slowest paced. It's the 2 slowest paced teams in the NBA.
My only point is that when you look at price tags, if I had a price tag of 3K and I got a couple rebounds and I got an assist,
you would not be 3K.
I'm kidding.
You wouldn't be in.
I'm kidding. They still have to be on the court. So that's the only thing that I'm saying. These trash bags have to be on the court. And they have to compete in an NBA contest.
We're trash bags. I love it.
All right, now let's go ahead and start answering questions.
Somebody said stack Raptors if Van Vliet and Ibaka out. Yeah, I'll definitely have some lineups where strategically have a lot of Raptors in there, just with the off chance that both Ibaka and Van Vliet are out. And I guess you could throw Gasol in there too because he's now kind of questionable.
Yeah, I mean, if all the normal injuries are still out for these guys show well on their sheet for sure.
Yes. Again, I haven't ran the numbers, but just looking at Norman Powell's got a big bump to 6'6". I mean, rightfully so. He's played very well.
All right. I'm looking through the questions. All right. Do you want to give cash plays? Let's go ahead and break down the entire slate. As of right now.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. The cash lineup I have right now, I think, has 5 or 6 of Clippers in Houston. I think that's the safe game to attack. It's the highest over/under. I kind of like Harden and Westbrook. I think you should have at least one. Good luck choosing between them. It's been Westbrook as of late, but I think Harden. This could be a good game for Harden to kind of come back into the spotlight. So I definitely like Harden and Westbrook. I like Paul George. I like PJ Tucker. I like Mike Scott, unfortunately. But I think those are 5 guys you can build a lineup around. It's tough to get. If you're going to choose one of Harden and Westbrook, I would suggest choosing one of them and then probably going Paul George and Kawhi. I think Jokic is probably in a very good spot, but I don't think I'll roster him in cash. I'll have to talk to Matt about that because I know how he feels about Jokic. And I think Millsap's pretty good value too at 4.6. Beverly at 3.6 I think is pretty good value. And then, like I said, Mike Scott at 3.8 will be very chalky, so I think that's good value too.
I think what your strategy, and I think you can agree with me on this, is you're going to have to grab some exposure to this Rockets game, whether it is Harden or Westbrook. And if you want to play both, sure. If you want to get Jokic in there at least. And just on the hopes that either your guy outperforms the other superstar or that they just kind of, they both kind of match each other's performances. And then grab exposure to either Jokic or the 76ers. So the chalk of the night is going to be the 76ers in Houston. Those are great plays. And then I still have Devontae Graham showing here. I'm overexposed to him as the only Charlotte guy as of right now. And if he does get ruled out, it's going to change up everything. So my favorite GPP plays are Al Horford. I don't think you mentioned Al Horford as your cash play. Did you?
Oh, yeah, he's in there too.
Yeah. Sorry. So Al Horford's going to end up being a GPP play too. Eric Gordon is still showing very good on our models. He's averaging 0.83 fantasy points per minute, I think, or 0.87. Something in the 0.8 range, which is still pretty good. And obviously, in a very competitive game, he'll have to get open. He'll have to shoot. So, Eric Gordon, I like. I like Shake Milton. I like all of these 76ers just because they're showing a little bit under-owned. So, I guess it's just based on last time's performance. Everybody got burned by the 76ers last game. And De'Aaron Fox is getting overlooked. I like De'Aaron Fox. We mentioned that Sacramento. I think it's just because Fox is at 8K and not at 7.9 because people are fickle and they just go back and forth with those price tags. It's just a marketing thing, I guess. So 8K, Fox could end up paying off for you. And I think those are my favorite GPP plays. Oh, again, it's a small slate, so I can't give out too many. But if I had to give out my favorite GPP plays, Horford, Gordon, Devontae Graham, Milton. Oh, yeah, and Covington's still there. So, yeah, those are my favorite plays, my GPP plays. The biggest difference in ownership, at least. That's how I base it off of my favorite plays. All right. I think we can start answering questions now. Yeah. Also, guys, I entered a bunch of contests earlier, so I won't be in a huge rush to get off the stream. I'll go ahead and get off around 6:30ish again, and then come back, right after I made my last-minute adjustments. Hopefully we get that Devontae Graham news. I probably won't leave you guys hanging until we do get that news, and then we'll go ahead and break that down. All right, let's go ahead and... Oh, yeah, so that's a good question. I need to update ownership to see if it changed, though. I don't think it did. I did it about 5 minutes ago. I think it's the same. Yeah, it's still the same. Harden and Westbrook at the very top. You're going to probably see Harden and Westbrook in a lot of lineups, guys. At least in cash. GPP, I'd probably take one of the two, at least in a couple builds, and then go Jokic and kind of differentiate yourself there. That's what I would do personally. And maybe Kawhi. Kawhi is a fantastic GPP play tonight. He's really showing lower than I thought he would, TJ.
Kawhi?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised by it too a little bit.
I mean, you look at that team as a whole, and somebody has to step up, so obviously it's going to be Kawhi. All right. Let's start answering some questions. Any Raptors news? Nope, not yet. Not that I see. TJ, see any Raptors news?
No, nothing.
Draymond Green, question mark. Nope, not either one. That's why we're still waiting for them. Best center option other than Jokic. We like PJ Tucker, for value anyway. And I don't ever like PJ Tucker. He's another option. Let's go look for some more. Al Horford, obviously. And I like Covington for GPPs. And TJ mentioned earlier he likes Harrell for GPPs. a lot.
Yes.
Okay to play Horford, Tobias, Milton, and Korkmaz. I recommended a Philly stack if that happens to go a little bit higher scoring because those guys definitely have good value. I wouldn't play
Yeah, blow my
that
nose.
many.
That might be loud.
Let me look at it again. Horford, Tobias, Milton. What I would do is grab a couple. If you're going to stack, I never recommend stacking a lot of those high-price guys. It's a lot harder for those guys to cover the price tags and have a lot of upside. It's a lot more likely with those value guys. So, like, I wouldn't play Horford, Tobias, and Milton. I'd probably play one or two of those guys, mix them with some value plays. Like, if you can get down to somebody like Korkmaz and Robinson, you know, I would mix in those guys rather than the more expensive guys in Philly. TJ, you got a specific question.
I answered it.
Oh, you did.
Someone asked about someone asked about Pascal. That's all dependent on Draymond.
Yeah, if you ask us any questions about Golden State or Charlotte right now, or even Toronto, we won't be able to answer them until we get those injury news or that injury news.
It's tough to say. It's tough to gauge.
Awesome.
Update your ownership percentage.
Yeah, thank you, Jason, for that.
I didn't see it move unless I already had updated it.
Nope, it did.
I see. I'm showing Van Vliet at 34%.
It's huge, actually, because this is huge news for you, TJ. Jokic and Westbrook are showing the same now. Van Vliet's still up there. Mike Scott's still up there. But the highest owned is Harden, my favorite personal play on the slate. Paul George is still showing high. Kawhi's still down there at 28. I'm going to have to update my exposures and update my 150 lineups that I did earlier. So bear with me, guys.
Horford down to 22, eh?
Yeah, I like him even more for GPP's.
Today, I need to see Charlotte. Wow.
I don't know why you hate Charlotte so much.
They're not going to score 80 points.
They're going to score 80 points.
They're not.
All right, TJ, let's make a side bet.
So what? So
No.
If
If they score over 98.75, I win. If they score lower than 98.75, you win.
Deal.
All right, let's do it. You
All
guys heard it here. What's the bet? We didn't even. Is it the push-up challenge again?
Huh?
Is it the push-up challenge again, or you want to bet real money on it?
I don't want to do push-ups.
Simple answer. All right, I'll bet you. I bet you $20. How about that?
I bet you.
Oh my gosh. Here we go. Oh, dude, let's just show because you have a really good job, dude. Cool. Awesome.
Oh my God, if the under hits, you have to put Carl in your seat the next stream we do, so tomorrow,
Okay.
to open up the stream on the mic. You have to move the mic out of the green screen, okay? Carl will the camera needs to be fixated on Carl.
Hey, hold on. For you guys that don't know, Carl's my corgi. Go ahead.
So you have to have Carl in the seat with the camera fixated on him, and you need to move the mic out of the picture, and then do the intros as if it was as if Carl was talking.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I did not explain that well at all.
No, I did.
Excited.
No, so you basically want Carl to narrate the first like 10 seconds.
Correct.
15
With you
seconds.
talking, but off screen, we can't see you. We can, and it's only pictured. Carl's the only one.
I don't know why you thought of that first, but it's a deal. For you, it's gonna have to be I want to say Amanda. Would she even do that? She probably wouldn't even do that. No. Okay. Well then,
I can't be showing off Amanda to all these YouTubers.
For you, you just have to admit that I'm better than you at DFS. On stream tomorrow.
Okay.
You said okay?
Okay.
Okay. All right, that's a deal. That's the weirdest
Look
bet
at
I've
Sloppy
ever.
calling me out. I'm doing too much. Sheesh. That's
That's
tough.
the weirdest bet I've ever made with somebody right there.
It's tough.
All right, let me build my 150 here.
Horford or Harold? GPP's. I mean, I'd say Harold because I'm in love with him tonight. I would get why you'd want to go Horford, but
Yeah, please hit that like button, guys. Thank you for that.
Thank you, Bill.
No, you always show support, Bill. I really do appreciate that, honestly. I'm building 150 lineups, guys. I'm not just staring at my screen. All right, got a little bit better of a picture here for me. Harden still, Scott, Horford, Van Vliet, Gordon, Shake, Hernan Gomez. Okay,
Oh
let's
my
look at
God,
Hernan
Chris
Gomez.
just roasted me in the chat.
Who did?
Chris with a K said that's not fair to let him get off by speaking the truth.
Ooh, get roasted. No,
No,
guys, honestly, me and TJ are so alike in our mindsets. That's why we love streaming with each other, because we're not fighting on stream. Usually, anyway. We're very, very similar when it comes to DFS. You know, here and there, like he hates Charlotte and I like Charlotte. That's the only difference, but if Charlotte goes over, I'm making a lot of money tonight, just saying.
I'm going to say, just again, I hate this slate. I think it's terrible. It's a terrible 4-game slate. We're waiting injury news on the worst game, the 10:30 game. It's terrible.
I was doing something. I got sidetracked because I was multitasking.
Barton or Buddy Hield in tiers?
Barton,
I'm going to say Buddy Hield.
Straight up? Ew,
So,
you have to choose between those and tiers?
Yeah, that's the
pick with your eyes closed.
That's the tough range. I'd say, yeah, that's tough. I'd say Buddy Hield. What do you think about those lineups?
Yeah, that's weird.
Or I see Westbrook, Harden. I'm assuming Eric Gordon, Mike Scott, Harrell, Milton, McLemore, Reggie. I hope that's GPP because that's.
I've been here the last 5 days, and I have Roto Grinder subscription too, and I've been on a 5-game win streak. We're the ultimate duo here, guys. Roto with our advice. We really do like that, and we recommend it. If you guys don't have a Roto Grinder subscription, at least for MME and just building your lineups in general and just seeing where it kind of differentiates with the projections, because Roto is the most popular tool, hands down. So again, you get a good idea with the public, which is why we use it. We don't use it because Roto is like phenomenal at projections or anything. We kind of gauge where the public kind of sits. So again, great tool for that reason.
Chris, he shouldn't start. He didn't start last game against the Lakers, so I don't see why they would throw out a new lineup. I would assume they keep the same one.
Guys, please don't take this first lineup here. I'm kind of looking at this lineup that I built. This is horrible. You want to hear it, TJ?
I
guess you can.
I guess I can kind of see it. Is it Bev, Harden, PG, Scott, Tucker, Westbrook, Al Horford, Willie Hernangomez?
Yeah.
Man,
where's that
your stuff loves Hernangomez tonight, huh?
I don't know why. Oh, yeah, that's what I was doing. I was looking at Hernangomez's minutes. So what's up with him? Hernangomez, 18 minutes. Is Biyombo playing?
You need anything?
Oh, I see why.
Okay.
So he's been doing pretty well as of late. It looks like TJ got called.
Amanda's home. She needed towels to shower.
Oh, okay. Oh, good thing that happened before she got out of the shower. Would have had to delete this stream.
Okay. I don't trust Lou tonight. Why? I think this is a good spot for Lou.
What? Where do you see that question at? Oh, I don't trust Lou tonight.
No, he didn't. Anker doesn't trust Lou.
No.
I mean, I don't trust his minutes, especially since trade deadline. I mean, him and Harrell have been the ones that have been directly affected the most with like Marcus Morris, Reggie Jackson. And Bev, I guess, because we know that Paul George and Kawhi are going to get their minutes when it's a close game. But primetime game, TNT, 2 heavy hitters, like small ball type situation, like that's kind of why I'm drawn to guys like Lou and like Trez tonight.
Beverly has been awful, and yeah, that's the reason why we're only hesitant with taking Bev. But again, if he's going to play heavy minutes, it's going to be tonight. This is going to be the only team where he should play an extreme amount of minutes because, again, him and Westbrook go back and forth. They'll be doing it again tonight. And Harden. I mean, Beverly on Harden, too.
The one thing that... Now, when you say heavy minutes, I don't think, like...
Heavier.
I think... So, like, he's been playing, like, low 20s. I think he could play, like, 20... I think I said 26 would be, like, the max that I could see him playing tonight. Because I think they give minutes to... I mean, obviously, you got Reggie Jackson. I think Shamet might play a little... some minutes, too, off the bench, like... You know, he could see a decent amount of minutes because he's very good defensively.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the biggest concern with Beverly is just the minutes. You know, he'll probably play low 20s, but if this is a competitive game and he comes out and he's making defensive plays left and right, I would assume that Doc keeps him in. So I think 26 is like a pretty good ceiling, but I think, you know, 20 is the floor. So it is tough, but at 3-6 and in a slate where you need value to try and pay up for some of these studs, I think that's a pretty safe place to look. Especially, I think he's going to carry the ownership too.
I still totally like Mike Scott a lot more, though. I mean, for value, he's going to get more minutes.
You can guarantee that Mike Scott will most like 90% of the time in this situation play more minutes than Bev. So,
right.
I mean, I would roster both of them in cash because if you do get a couple guys sub 4, you can get Westbrook, Harden, Jokic, and Kawhi. You can get 2 of them, and then you can get Paul George. So I think that's the move in terms of cash. And then you get PJ Tucker at 3-7. Like, again, I think it's a very stars and scrubs type night.
Yeah. Miles Bridges, if Graham is out, certainly. A lot of the Charlotte guys will get a nice boost. And if I even like Miles Bridges, even if he's playing, I mean, I don't like him. I just like him as GPP. But Graham carries the most usage, was just not much. And they don't really affect the picture that much in general, just because the whole team stinks. So, but he's not an auto lock or anything. I think his price tag's around 5.5 now.
Who?
Bridges, Miles Bridges.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Morris time. Assuming that's a question. Yeah. Morris has been pretty well. Been doing pretty well. He's projected right now. I think his minutes are only 29 though. He's been playing around that range since he's been there, and the times that I've started him, he's done pretty well. He's actually taken a bit of a drop lately. But yeah, I mean, Morris isn't a bad play for GPPs only.
For Morris, it's kind of dependent if he can knock down shots, especially the 3. He's not afraid to shoot, so yeah.
Oh, by the way, thank you so much, Aaron, for the subscription. Really do appreciate that. If Ibaka sits, are we on Boucher tonight? The Toronto's prices are a bit confusing. Again, we kind of have to wait for that because Boucher probably won't get a run. He hasn't been getting a run with Ibaka out. It's been Powell.
No, he played a ton of minutes against Phoenix.
Oh yeah, you are right. 28.
Yeah.
Well, but then again, Gasol's still there and stuff, so we
so even if Ibaka's out, we got to see what's going on with Gasol because Gasol is questionable tonight. Graham will play.
Okay, Graham's gonna play, so that makes that easier. I still like Charlotte for a stack if they happen to go over 20 or 98. Again, mixing with a couple. Again, nobody will have these Charlotte Hornets, at least in the mid-tier range. Maybe the percentages will drop now that Graham's back. So,
I still like Charlotte to not score 80 points tonight. They're trash. Can we get the dumpster?
Sure, we can get trash bag.
Get the trash bag up there.
Yep. It is here.
Thank you.
But
yeah, that is Charlotte.
So, like, I still like I like Devontae Graham now though. I do like him for GPPs.
Monk out, just so I can see.
Well, Devontae Graham's on my screen. He's this one right here.
See the trash?
No, he's this one. I pointed to him. That one.
I can't see because the delay, but I'm laughing.
No, because he's the biggest trash bag right there. He's the most usage.
He'll probably snap it. And they'll score 79 points. Let's see. Terry Rozier. Trash.
I wonder how many people are going to leave because I just call him trash. I wonder how many Charlotte fans I'm roasting in here.
Is that a thing? Are people fans of Charlotte? Like, are you actually a Charlotte Hornets fan? Because if you are, then...
I wasn't going to take it that far. I mean, you're a fan of whoever you're a fan of. Come on now.
Yeah, like Matt, where are you from?
I'm from all over the place because I come from a military family.
Okay.
Get roasted back. Born in Jacksonville, raised in Maryland. I now live in Pennsylvania. I technically lived in Texas. I lived in Arkansas. I lived in California. So
we would call Matt a mutt. He's a mutt.
I am a mutt.
He just travels around. So Rozier's actually a 5'4", huh? Murray, Harris, Barton, Millsap, Jokic. On to Graham. Graham actually pops a little bit on the sheet.
This is what I've been trying to tell you. It's not a bad play.
No, I told you if I'm taking one guy. Huh?
He's 5'8". He's not going to get cheaper than that. I mean, at 5'8", he's still covering his price tag.
I mean, he's been atrocious. If I'm taking anybody, if Graham was in, it's going to be him. Like, that's the one guy that I could start and be like, all right, he has the upside. Him and Zeller, I guess. I don't trust Zeller's minutes though.
Lived at the naval base in Mayport. I don't recognize that. Mayport. Where's that? Where's Mayport?
No
Do you know where Mayport is?
Yeah.
Where? You have no idea. You're such a loser.
I was going to use a famous Peter Griffin line, but I didn't think it was stream appropriate.
Graham is a good GPP play. He might even be cash viable, honestly, guys, but just because of his ownership. That's the only thing. We're going to wait for that to adjust. Regardless of what TJ thinks, he pops on our sheet, and he's still a decent play. If he's going to be one of your last spots, I definitely don't hate it. Again, like, there's better plays. James Harden's a better play. Jokic is a better play. Mike Scott, obviously, with these Philly players, I still like more than Devontae Graham. So, again, that's where my headspace is, and for GPPs in general. Again, these Philly guys are showing lower than expected for ownership, so that's why I like them.
Millsap or Grant? Millsap.
Which teams are your favorite stacks? So the safest one is Houston. I like Houston for stacking. I mentioned this on Patreon too. My favorite is Houston. I also like Philly, and then I like Charlotte as a sneaky snack. I like them as a snack.
They are delicious. So Montrezl Harrell won't have a minute restriction.
Oh. Ooh. All right, I give props to TJ. That's fine. We'll see what that looks like, though. What does that really look like? How many minutes is he actually going to
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to update my lineups because I'm so confident in Montrezl Harrell. This is so stupid to do. I'm going to have 100% exposure to him.
161 watching. How about some likes? You know, I agree with that. How many likes do we have? I don't have my phone pulled up. If it's under 30, I'm ending the stream.
27.
Oh, I'm ending it. Have a good night, guys.
I'm cool with it. We said all we had to say.
No. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to a short break, guys. I didn't realize it was 6:35. I'm gonna build my lineups.
Oh, wow.
What?
I didn't realize it was 6:35. Time flies when you're having fun.
Yep. I'll be back though in about 10 minutes. There's not too much to really update except for the percentage ownership. So I will be back, guys. I hope TJ is too, and I think TJ has a good grasp on the slate too. So we will be back.
Oh, thanks, Matt.
Enjoy this techno music while we wait.
All I do is count that paper. All I do is count that. All I do is count that paper. All I do is count. All I do is count that paper. All I do is count that paper.
right, and just like that, we are back. Oh, I gotta turn off my phone.
Nat?
Yeah.
Hi.
Sup. All right, guys. So I updated all my lineups. Really, nothing changed in what we've been talking about with Devontae Graham's ownership being updated. It looks like it's still pretty high. I was gonna say something. Oh, there's a ton of good contests out right now. I just entered a $4 max, 1,000 people, 1,700, which is actually the one similar to the size I took down earlier in the season, which was 2,500. A $2,500 winner. It's about to fill, but I'm assuming there's gonna be another one that's gonna open up. So again, a good amount of contests if you are MME. Also, there's a good single entry, so I can go down those contests for you. Also, guys, feel free to ask any questions into the chat. TJ, what are you doing for GPPs tonight? What's your stances?
I haven't been able to venture back since I made them earlier because I'm just trying to make sure that this looks pretty enough. That looks pretty enough. I think Montrezl Harrell is the guy I want to be overweight on, so I think that's what I'm going to go back and fix.
Yeah, so did his minutes update? That's a good question because...
No, I think he'd still be at 26.
26.
Is that where he's at?
Yeah, 26.
Yeah. Won't change.
Yeah.
Probably get 10 points and I'll look like a jerk, but you know, it's...
Do you
gotta
like...
be in. But
Do you like House or Eric Gordon is a question. Eric Gordon's minute just went up 1 minute to be exact.
sick. Love Eric Gordon now.
Daniel House went down 1 minute. So they're playing 26, 28 minutes. I mean, there's not too much of discrepancy there. But I like Eric Gordon just because of his production. I mean, I also like Daniel House. I like Houston as a stack. Like, if you're going to stack a team, I like to target these Houston Rockets. Maybe pair one of these superstars with a couple of these lower tier guys. There's nothing wrong with playing both these superstars. However, it's more advisable for cash, just because like the ceiling's going to be higher for you to stack a couple of these lower owned guys with another superstar. So, but I will say Eric Gordon I like more. 10 minutes left, but still the cash lineup isn't up. It is 12 minutes left.
And it just got posted.
And it just got posted. Guys, we're trying to put out the best product
I'm sorry.
possible.
But sorry about that, guys, but I just want to, win.
Yeah, guys, if you don't know how to edit your lineup and edit all the lineups at the same time, you can go look up a tutorial on that. That's where... that's how you do it. If you're going through your individual contests and editing every single lineup, you're doing it wrong. So...
Yeah.
It shouldn't be a panic for you. I would be fine with somebody posting a line at 3 minutes before lock.
I agree, but everybody's different, and I know it's some people get anxious, and rightfully so. But yeah, it's up.
Austin Rivers, what are your thoughts? I saw that before we got off earlier. Austin Rivers only 18 minutes. I mean, just strictly GPP. The only reason that he'd get an extended run is if he got hot, and Austin Rivers probably is not going to do that. I'm going to be on Eric Gordon a lot more. I don't think I have a single Austin River lineup, to be honest. All right, I think they just want to hear us talk. I mean, if you guys are done with the questions, I mean, I can go over the contests that are good. I like doing that for you guys. I like doing that for myself.
Yeah, let's check out some contests. What do we got going on here with 10 minutes left before lineups?
So there's a $12 single entry with 3,400 people. That's an interesting one. That's a little too high for me. There's a $100 single entry with 66 people. That's very intriguing if I decide to play single entry tonight.
Should I enter it?
Go for it. There's a ton of double ups, single entry double ups.
Yeah, those ones stink.
All right, so there's a 3 entry max $20, 588 people. That is ideal for my type of style. I like that.
Nothing but that. I'm giving everybody Harold, man. So everybody's either gonna love me tomorrow or hate me.
Most likely hate, just because.
It's probably the latter, but you gotta, yeah.
If you are a 150 max entry kind of guy, this $2 150 max it only has 8,900 people. Very good chances to win that if you're a 150 max enter guy and you feel like throwing down 300 tonight. There's another. I think TJ, this one could be intriguing for you. There's a 20 max, $1, 5,900 people.
It's not enough people for me.
And okay. How big was the contest you? Oh, it was huge. It was 37,000, right? The one that you almost took down earlier in the season.
Yeah, there was 37,000. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I like the smaller contests for sure.
Talk about it.
I don't know why, because you did phenomenal.
Yeah.
I think those are the only ones I see other than qualifiers right now. But again, more are going to come out. I love waiting to the last second to enter these contests. There's a $3,180 3 entry max. So if you feel like throwing down $9,000 tonight, that one's good.
I'm already in there, so if anybody wants to join me.
And there's another. I love these 150 max contests right now. There's a $6 entry though. That one's very good. All right, I'm gonna go back to answering some questions. Milton, Van Vliet, Paul George, Scott, Jokic, Korkmaz, Heald, and Graham. Is that for GPP? Oh yeah, you specified. Heald's gonna be unowned. Korkmaz is gonna be fairly low owned, and Milton's not gonna be that high owned. I would maybe swap out one of those guys, but other than that, I like it. Jokic or Westbrook? That's a question we had to answer ourselves. TJ, you want to answer that?
We went with Jokic, so.
Yep. You can go either way, though. Heald or Powell for GPP? Well, Powell's totally up in the air just based on injuries, so I wouldn't touch him if those guys are playing. Powell's like at 6,600 now or something ridiculous like that?
It's all dependent on injuries for them, so it's tough to say.
I wouldn't say this is necessarily a late swap night because Toronto could like completely destroy you if you hold off and they don't get off late swap, because all those guys, if they do play, those price tags are pretty insane. They're pretty high. Other than Van Vliet, it's gonna be tough for those guys to match those price tags. If you really want to like go crazy, those FanDuel guys, if you want to play people into Toronto game, if you want to get really crazy, virtually no ownership. All right, there's a perfect contest, a $27 single entry, only 129 people. So that's a good contest to enter, guys. If you see it, it's called the NBA 3K Fast Break. I like that one. I might play that one. Probably not, though. Yeah, that $1 20 max is still open, guys. The NBA 5K and 1. I really like that contest. Gordon and Lowry instead of Van Vliet and Heald. Gordon and Lowry. Again, I don't like any of the Toronto guys besides Van Vliet as of right now.
Thoughts on Boucher or a different low salary center? It's tough, man, because like if Gasol and Ibaka play, like he could like not even see the floor. So I think the safer play is Zeller, or like going down to Tucker. But you know, if you want to input Tucker and then hopefully you get the news on Ibaka and Gasol before Tucker tips off, then that's also a strategy as well. But it's just the 4-game slate where one game starts at 7 and the injury news that we really need is 10:30 is just like it's the worst.
There's so many good contests right now.
Yeah, you love them all?
I do. There's an 80-person 2 entry max. If you don't cash in that, then you should just quit DFS.
See you, Chris. Thanks, bud.
GPP, Russ, Gordon, Kawhi, Covington, Harrell, Beverly, Scott, Chris.
I heard Harrell. That's all I got to hear. I love it.
Chris is in there. It's not bad. I can get behind that. You're basically hoping that Harden doesn't do well, and that's a huge if. Harden has such a high floor. That's my only thing with Harden. It's like even when he does bad, he still has a good floor. Is Beverly a good play? What's his minute projection? What's his actual minute projection? It's about 23 the last time I checked.
22.
22. Yeah. 22. The better value play is Mike Scott. He's not a bad play. It's just I think that Beverly from a DFS perspective has just never been that productive. It's very hard for him to score, especially in the type of team that he's on now with Kawhi and Paul George. So, but the thing is, like, he performs well in these kind of game scripts. Going against Westbrook and Harden, like, obviously he's going to be involved a lot just defensively. So, again, like, just like if you're in the narratives, Beverly could definitely be a good play. That's the only thing. It's just like a 26% ownership, though. It's terrifying for me. At least for tournaments. All right. I guess I can keep naming off some contests. There's 3 minutes before lock. So there's some overlay here. There's a lot of overlay in this 12. 150 max. There's 2,000 people that still haven't entered that.
Oh, yeah, there is, yeah.
Oh, there's a lot of overlay in this $25 double up. I don't know if you see that, TJ. Yeah. So there's only 346 people out of 459.
That'll fill, though.
You think? Okay.
Yeah, probably. Keep an eye on it, though.
There's two $50 single up, double ups, guys. If you guys are high rollers, and the $50 double ups, those are good contests to enter right now. There's a huge $25 double up with 1,149 people.
Yeah, these $50 single entries might not fill.
Yeah. If you guys don't know what overlay is, give my other videos a watch, please. Huge thing to do is enter contests last minute. There's guaranteed contests. If they don't fill, DK has to fill them with their own money, and then it's free money at that point if you cash. Pat Bev is always a good play against Westbrook. Yep, that's our only point with him.
I might
injury
enter
updates. The only
50.
injury update that we got after we got off was Graham is playing, but I think that was before we got off. So
we got that one. Yeah.
Yeah, nothing new. And again, there's nothing that should break the slate. Like, even if all these Toronto guys get rolled out, sure, I mean, that helps Toronto's picture, but it's not like they're a must at that point. You know? So, definitely not a late swap night.
Are there any smaller GPPs that aren't going to fill here?
I'm looking. That's what I've been looking for.
Because none of these 50 double ups are going to fill.
There's $12 single entry. I know that's not going to fill because it's single entry.
Where is that?
It's the pick and roll. I mean, there's not that many people in it though, but there's that $20 right below it.
Oh yeah, these $50 single entries are all going to have.
There's $100 double up isn't going to fill. That $100, there's only 55 people in it. $100, and there's a lot. There's still 15 people left. 10 seconds. NBA single entry $100 double up. I'm telling you, there's going to be a lot of overlay.
I'm going to enter it. I entered it.
All right, good. Yep. There's about 10 people left that haven't entered. Oh,
48.
9 people.
7 people overlay. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
See, that's what you have to do. That's how you become a better DFS player.
I probably
right there.
should have entered the $50 single entry that had. We'll talk. Let's see. So.
Good job, TJ. Good job.
No, I entered the wrong one, Matt. They all got filled.
They did?
No, I'm just kidding. It always says that at the end. I entered the wrong one. There were 2 of them. I entered the top one.
Harold breaks the slate. How would the stack work for a single entry? 5K. What do you mean stack? Like stack a team? I don't get what you're asking. So
All right,
Reggie Jackson's
I'm
good
gonna
tonight.
get a little bit more comfy if you guys just want to hang out on the stream
play.
for a little bit longer, but my back really hurts, so I'm going to lay down.
Let's play guess the ownership again. That was fun.
Did you like that?
Yeah, did you like it? Okay. Yeah.
All right, so we should have a cut screen that says guess that ownership, and then I'll put on like a suit or something.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, this $100 single entry looks nice. All right, let's see what Jokic is. Oh, good, mercy.
You can't look at it
Yeah.
yet.
I just wanted to look at it. And, there's only 48 people.
Cheating.
All right. So in the, I mean, we can only really go off of Charlotte. So in the $5, single entry with 2.3 thousand people, what do you think Jokic's ownership is? I'm going to tell you now, it wasn't as high as I thought in the $100 single entry.
Oh, so that means they're going Westbrook hard. Yikes.
So thank you for talking to me.
He's still a phenomenal play.
Yeah.
60.
60?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to say 38. Actually, hold on. Before we do this, before we do the revealing, in the $100 single entry, he was only 21%.
Oh.
There's only 48 people in there, though.
I'll just say
Take that into consideration. That's why I'm saying 38.
I'll say 50.
50? Okay.
Yeah.
We got some responses, though. We got Vlog says, Vlog Life and Nate Nemes is 65. Can't beat the Bay, 27. I feel like Can't Beat the Bay actually looked because he threw in an LOL at the end.
Yeah, but that's definitely a GPP ownership.
25.5.
For a double up.
What?
For double up.
Yep.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's really low. Okay,
Yep.
well, I wish I would have known that, so I would have played him in GPPs, but I actually did not play him that much in GPPs because I thought it was going to be reversed.
Oh, man, I might strangle you.
What's the ownership on the other guys?
With love. They're all going to just, I mean...
Well, you better hope that's a high over-under then. So it's a win-win for you.
Graham's 46%.
Graham's 46? Okay, it's not bad.
In the $5, Millsap is 53%. 53%?
Millsap is 53?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, in the mid-tier range, you could have went either Graham or Millsap.
Graham's 31%.
And what?
The $5 single entry?
Yeah, but you gotta look at the 100 because those people know what they're doing, and they know that they know the fade Jokic. So. Now what's? Oh, I guess that's the only game that you can look at. I was about to ask for Harden.
All right, man. I think we got to. I'm getting barked at about dinner, so.
All right. Yep. I'm starving. So same.
Okay.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We will talk to you tomorrow. Hopefully, again, the giveaways tomorrow. So be there early. And again, we're still living up to the bet that we placed earlier. So.
Well, I want it to go over now, or at least Denver to go over. I don't care about Charlotte.
Oh, okay, that too.
All right, guys. Good luck tonight.
All right, guys. Let's cash.
You know I'm cool. That's right.